So what is frequency separation and how to start working with this? In many areas of life you have the definition of frequencies, and the definition of frequencies exists in the artistic areas like photography, like music. It exists in scientific areas as well. I'm not going to talk much about this because it doesn't really matter. And the frequencies exist in our images as well. So how do we define frequencies? This image contains different kind of information like details, information like tones, and information like colors. And different kind of frequencies contains different kind of informations. Usually we can split frequencies for high frequencies and low frequencies, the same we're doing with the image. In this case, high frequencies contain information about the details, about all of the hair, about the small veins you can see on this image. I'm going to zoom this right now. So as I said, high frequencies will be responsible for these all small dots, for the small veins, and low frequency contains information about tones and about the colors. So it's kind of, mostly it's big areas like shadows on the face, these weird tones. So we're going to fix different kind of things onto different layers which contains different informations. So how to do this? I'm going to zoom this out at first, and I'm going to duplicate this original layer twice, which is here. I'm going to press Ctrl or Command J twice to do 2 copies, and the bottom one will be low frequency. I'm going to call this low frequency right now. Later I'm going to change this. You will see why I'm doing this, because just in case of the beginners, to make sure you will know what I'm doing. And the top one will be high frequency. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with low frequency. We have to set up our low frequency layer. So I'm going to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. So as I said before, low frequencies define the tones and colors, but not about the details. So what we are going to do, I have to find the point of this image when I kind of blur out the details and I cannot see the small details from the face, but I still can see the shape like the eyes, lips, and other stuff. So I'm going to blur out the skin. I'm going to find the point where the skin is blurring out and I'm losing the details. And this image is quite big, so I found the point which is 90.6, around 90. It doesn't have to be so precise actually. And do not suggest by the thing I set over here, because every image is different. If you have a smaller image, you're probably going to set different radius. The thing you have to suggest, you have to find the point when you blur out your image to this point, as I do. As you can see, I can see the eyes, I can see the shape of the eyes, eyebrows, and everything, but I cannot see the details anymore. So that's the point you have to find. Do not set radius about 20, because if your image is different, the radius will be different. So let's hit OK, and right now I will go to my high frequency layer, and with this layer I'm going to go to image and apply image. So what we have to do now, we're going to do actually high pass layer, but not through the high pass, but something which is more precise. I'm going to set as a layer low frequency, so it's kind of exclude the details, the information from the other layer, or actually going to suggest by the information from other layers. So we, on these 2 layers, we're going to have different kind of informations. So is it as a source, and blending will be subtract, as it's 8-bit image. I'm going to give you information how we set this. It's going to be layer, has to be this from low frequency layer. If you call this different, it will be different name here. Blending has a subtract, scale 2 and offset 128. It's always like this, it never changed. However, if you have 16-bit image, so it could be raw image, the blending will be as a add, scale 2, offset 0 and then invert. However, I work on 8-bit image, so that's how we set this. Now hit OK, and I'm going to change blending mode from normal to linear light. So now let me put these two layers into the group. I'm going to select two of them and then Control or Command and G, and everything is into the group. I'm going to call this group frequency separation. So now we actually prepare the layers for our work. What I'm going to do a few more things. Between this high frequency layer and low frequency layer, I'm going to create empty layer. I'm not going to rename this right now. The reason is you're going to see this a bit later, because these layers inside will be responsible for specific parts. I'm going to create more of them, so there's no sense to rename this right now. But about this low frequency layer, I'm going to duplicate this. And the reason why I'm going to duplicate this is because if I mess out on this layer, I cannot change this later. So why not just create new layer above this as a copy? So Control or Command J, and I created a copy. So in next lesson, we're going to do proper job with our frequency separation technique.